Hello everyone, this is Jose of Joy of Fish Keeping. This is a coral relief brand, Flubendazole, a deworming agent that I use in a routine basis as part of my quarantine process, which I have described in a previous video, and also as a preventative. I use it about once every month. I'll get into it a little further in the video. To all watching, I promise you that this funny white powder in this little scale is Flubendazole. Why Flubendazole? I have tried, for different reasons, multiple anti-deworming agents. I still use actively Pro, which is a liquid form. It dissolves very easily in the water, and I use it primarily to treat tapeworms, which I have personally experienced in discus fish. It does treat other parasites also. Why Flubendazole? I have tried Flubendazole in the past. It is an excellent drug for calamanus worms, which can be common in light bearers if you keep them. I don't keep light bearers. And also for other type of worms, it covers it very well. Flubendazole in powder form is almost impossible to dissolve, and even when you do, it still leaves a coating of stuff in the water. As you're watching here, Flubendazole, 200 milligrams per 20 gallons. You're supposed to mix half of it, add it to your tank, and then wait a little while, a few minutes, and then add the rest of it. And it can stay in for a day, 2, 3, 4 days, and until your next water change, it stays in the water. I have not had any issues at all with the Flubendazole affecting the fish in any way. There was one of the other tank where I keep the tiger barbs that I noticed that the zebra loaches were getting a little sluggish after, but it's still the tank I have finished treating it with Metro, and there was still some remnants, I guess, in the water. So I did a quick water change and nothing really happened. But I have tried before Flubendazole, and I still use it, but I use it in food, pre-medicated flakes, and I use that as part of my quarantine treatment for any internal worms like calamanus that may be coming along. Many people choose not to medicate during quarantine. I do medicate for past bad experiences, for rushing, quarantining, or not medicating, and I keep a lot of discus. I probably have about 25, 28 right now. Losses in discus, which I did happen once. I lost about 20 of them. It was very costly. One single discus can be $300, $200. Most of my discus, since they are large, are anywhere between $180 to about close to $300 per fish. So if you lose one, you're losing any costs that you may be spending on your medications. So if you quarantine in a 20-gallon tank, you will by far offset any cost that may be caused by a single fish death. That is only if your discus are the ones that die, or other fish, but you figure that in a tank at $5, $10, $20 a fish, it adds up. So if you start losing fish, like I did with columnaris, at some point I lost a whole tank with the discus. I estimate probably about $4,000 to $5,000 in fish only, and the other tanks I lost about 50% of the fish because it spread throughout. I was lucky that I didn't lose anything, because columnaris is known to wipe out a whole tank in 24 hours. So I was losing fish 4 to 5 discus a day. It was one of the most painful things that I have experienced in the hobby. So Flubendazole, they do recommend that you use it every 30 days, every month. I use it whenever I remember, so it may be monthly, maybe a month and a half or 2 months, but I can tell you that since I've added to my quarantine routine and I use it on a regular basis, it is rare that I have had any kind of noted parasites. I have had some, which are previous videos on it, on some of the discus that gotten a little skinny. There was no signs of parasites. I ruled them out basically because I treat them on a regular basis, and there was no other sign other than losing weight. I separated them out, treated them with food, and just overfed them. They gain weight. I did not lose them, and they are back in the tank as they were with the other ones. So is it worth deworming? In my case, I think so. I've been lucky not to have ick and spread out anywhere. I did have it early on in the hobby 3-4 years ago. I did get ick, but it was in a small tank. I treated it, and that was the end of that. I have not used ick X to treat it. I have it at home, and I've used it in the past, but with some of the other medications that I use at quarantine, it eliminates most of that stuff. This Flubendazole, again, as I said, has done quite well, because the fish that are in there, they will come up with an occasional blemish or something, or sluggish for some reason, I separate the fish to a quarantine tank and treatment tank and just treat them, and they respond well, and I just return them. So this is the dosing. I just made this label to remind myself it is 200 milligrams for 20 gallons. So small medicine scale works great for this. So it's I medicate all the tanks, as I said. So routine, unless they're medicating for some other reason, then I'll skip it and I'll do it the following month. So this is my 60-gallon cube tank, again medicating the same. It does turn the water cloudy for a couple of minutes, but then it clears very quickly. And again, as I said, I have not had any issues with it. Cannot really complain. It dissolves very well, unlike some of the other antiparasitic agents. So I just went through the whole process with all the tanks, and as I said, it's a good product to use. I have not any, highly recommended. I'm not sponsored by anybody. It's just something that if you want to incorporate into your routine, it's not a bad option. And again, as I said, if I can prevent fish death by deworming them, because usually with internal parasites, this will also take care of any external parasites such as ick and everything else. So just using it at the beginning of the quarantine process. Usually I use this first because you put it in one time only, leave it in for a couple of days. After a day or two, remove it. So I just add it, do water change 2 or 3 days later, and then go on to the next thing. So just remember to either use carbon, which I do not use in any of my tanks, to remove the remaining of it. Usually what I would do is just do one water change. I change as a routine 80% of the water in all my tanks, and then I will a day later or the next day just do another 80%. So essentially you remove most of the medication remaining, and then you can medicate. If you are following a certain routine, you can medicate later again, or basically you're done if this is a preventative thing. Another thing that I have done is I do not feed bloodworms. Since I stopped feeding them and using Flubendazole, I have not had any white poop anymore on my discus or any other fish, and has really stopped for, it's been like maybe a year or two that I have not had this issue. One interesting thing is I do use the Hikari frozen food. I use a bunch of different stuff except the bloodworms. I have heard other people that have issues with bloodworm, although fish love them and they go for them real voraciously, but they're not really nutritionally, from what I've heard. I haven't done no actual testing, that they're just basically an empty case. There's not much nutritional value to them. But one of the people at the store just told me the other day, they were out of Hikari, which is what they have, and they sell at this particular store that I said, like, they sell at a very good price, much better than any other place that I've visited. Then this is other store, other brand, California, which I'm going to post on the screen, California brand. It costs about $1 more than the other packets of the little cube. They're just convenient. I was going to buy the sheet, the whole bag, and she said, well, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but the little cubes are convenient. Just pop one out or two or whatever you're going to use, and then that's it. And she says that the Hikari, it's mostly grown in Asia. I don't know the condition there. She happened to be of Asian descent also, the store owner, and she said the conditions are much cleaner with the California grown ones. So, and it's made in America too. So, but anyway, she says the condition, probably, we don't know what's done in Asia or what the conditions are where they're grown. Although Hikari says that they have parasite freeze, I really don't trust it. So I still use the thing, not the bloodworm, but I use the other products, Daphnia, brine shrimps, baby brine shrimps. I use also mysis shrimp, and I use occasionally, not weekly, but I use also beef heart that I purchase at one of the stores that I usually buy my stuff. I buy half a pound, and then it lasts me quite a while. But anyway, I do, in spite of giving the other ones, not the bloodworms, I still will use the Flubendazole in case anything comes along. At least I can prevent it or keep it at bay and keep the fish healthy. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season if you celebrate, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. If you have not done so, please subscribe, share, like, and press the notification bell. Thank you for your support and visiting our channel.